Okay, folks. So, who the hell is Patrick and what makes his life so interesting, huh? Let me scoot back a little. I mean, I know I have a beautiful mug, but we don't want you all to get like scared, like too close up. So anyway, um, name is Patrick, duh, and 56 years old. Don't worry, I look like I'm 70, but have the mind of a 15-year-old, so it kind of all works out. So anyway, I left my job last week. It was my department at DoorDash had closed down, and just felt like the right decision was to get out on my own. I'm actually moving from California to Arizona next week, and just looking to start a whole new life. So, what makes my life so interesting is the fact that at 56 years old, I've done a lot. Yes, I've come from a pretty wild family history. By that, I mean, like, my mom was married multiple times, my dad was married multiple times. I've got step siblings and half siblings. And yeah, it was pretty wild, man. Grew up, just me, my brother, and my little sister out here in California. Our fathers, my sister has a different father. Our fathers were back in Ohio and Florida. So, flying back for summers and all that good stuff. And my brother and I, we had a pretty wild teen years. During our teen years, we got into this is back in the 70s and 80s. Okay. So we got into drugs. We did drugs. We sold drugs. Excuse me. Thank you, Philip Morris. Appreciate that. Every time I cough, I have to remember to thank Philip Morris. So, yeah, we did a lot of wild shit, man. A lot of stories to tell about that. And my working career. So, started off in telemarketing in my teen years. Did really well at it. But, after a while, you kind of figure out what you're doing, even though it's legal, it's just a scam. So, left that. And from that, I kind of floated around for a while. And then I got into bartending. Was actually tending bar first in this really huge cowboy bar. And no, I'm not a cowboy. Called the Saddle Rack out in San Jose. Pretty famous place, man. It was huge. We had like 7 bars inside. Huge crowds every night. Started off there as a bar back. Put it this way, this is the kind of crowds that came in there. They had several macho things set up. The bag you would hit and see how strong you are, the arm wrestle, the computer thing or whatever, computer arm to see how strong you are. Very macho atmosphere there. As a matter of fact, the bouncers there were pretty severe. I remember one night we would pull out our flashlights and put a little blue clip on it to, flash blue on the ceiling. That meant, hey, I need help immediately. So there was this drunk guy. He's a young kid, like 22, 23. He was pretty drunk though, and he was giving a lot of shit to the waitress at the bar. I don't remember what it was all about. Probably like getting too fresh with her or whatever. So we, blue lighted him. And the security manager, Andy, came over with a couple of the guards. And as they were taking him out, man, the guy kept on like fighting them and saying, "What did I do? What did I do? What did I do?" So Andy's got him holding his hair at the back of his head, right? And you got to understand, Saddle Rock, huge place. And they got these big wooden columns that are holding the place up. So Andy's walking by one of them and he says, "What'd you do?" "I'll tell you what you did." He takes him, bam, slams him face first into this huge wood column, man. I mean, the guy's nose just flattened out and broke and blood's gushing down over all of him. He's just a drunken idiot, He didn't deserve that. Andy and all of them are kind of laughing. He says, "I'll tell you what you did. Bam. You forgot to miss that column." So they get him in the door and they just toss him out, bleeding and drunk. I mean, yeah, they were, it was nice to have them there when someone really was out of line, but after that incident, I pretty much handled incidents myself, man, because, again, you don't deserve that. Anyway, so I worked there for a while, and then I started bartending with one of my best friends. Her father owned a strip club. So I was a bartender there and used to escort the dancers to bachelor parties after and stuff. So yes, for a couple years of my life, it was just party, 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 and dating strippers and all the good fun that comes with that. Also, I was really into playing pool, especially nine ball, and always had a gambling thing inside me. So after I left the bartending, I ended up working in a pool hall in Fremont called the Great Entertainer. Got some wild stories from there, man. We used to have these Afghanistan gangs come in there that not really gangs. I mean, they were just like all cousins and brothers and stuff, but they would play each other for pretty big money. And I got to tell you, man, you don't want to mess with those guys. They were really good to have as friends, though. Super loyal as friends. I'll start off with one of the stories from there in a minute. So from there, did that for a couple years, and a lot of gambling went on in that pool hall. A lot of gambling. After that, what did I do? Shit, I floated around again, and I was always off and on into painting. My best friend, calling my cousin Ronnie, his dad was a painting contractor, so he grew up in painting. So I worked for several painting companies over the years, including his dad. Got a lot of great stories from that. Anyway, from there, I had moved twice to Arizona over the years, and as a painter, it's not a cool place to be living during the summertime. I mean, it's just, as you know, it is the desert, brutally hot out there. Also went to try in Florida for a while, and same story, man. It's not good for construction. So I got back into telemarketing out there, selling the timeshare resort tours. Came back to California, and painting, then back to Arizona when my mom was sick, and back to California. My last time back to California, back in 2014, I needed some income. So someone told me about DoorDash, and I could be an independent contractor driver, a dasher. So I did, and I really fell in love with it, and fell in love with the whole mission statement, everything about DoorDash. They were really small back then. And I made it my life's mission that I was going to become an employee. Long story short, I managed after a year or so to find my way in as an employee, and built up there pretty quickly, and even acquired some equity, some stock and everything. Been there for the last 5.5 years. We'll talk about DoorDash later. I'll give you the inside scoop on DoorDash. But anyway, just left there a week ago, so on to other things now. And so I'll tell you a quick story before we sign off and start another stream later today. So why did I say the Afghani people were so nice in the Great Entertainer pool hall I worked at? I got to tell you, folks, this is right back when the whole Russia had invaded Afghanistan. That war was going on. So even though these guys were pretty young, that hang out down there like 18, 19, early 20s, they'd already lived through war. What I mean by that is they weren't scared of nothing. And somehow I got to be friends with them. My very first night there, they'd pissed me off and arguing about the pool time and blah, blah, blah. And so I had told them they couldn't come in when I worked anymore. Thank goodness they didn't go off on me. But my coworker, Sammy, convinced me they're really good guys, let them back in. So they came in and they apologized to me. We talked. I said, yeah. And we got to be friends after that. And then we got to be really good friends after that. And I remember they'd started their own franchise, Pizza My Heart. So a little pizza place up in San Francisco, downtown San Francisco. And, pretty wild place in San Francisco. And David and Payman, two brothers, were, not David. I forget the other guy's name. Anyway, Payman and his brother were working the store one night. And these guys came in to rob the store at gunpoint. And Payman said, He jumped the counter and charged the guy with the gun and got shot in the process, but was able to get the gun away. A couple shots off. Of course, the guys ran off. So we heard this story and found out what hospital Payman was in. So me and my friend Steve, we thought, hey, let's go visit him, just say hello, see how he's doing. So we show up down there, and the whole family is there. The mother, the father, the uncle, the aunt, all the cousins, the brothers. There's like 20 people around there, right? And one of the brothers, David, he's like, "What are you guys doing here?" And I said, "We came to check on Pam. He's our friend." Wow. That meant so much to him and his brothers and cousins, so much to them. He just kept saying, "I can't believe you would do this. You're so respectful." He kept saying, "You have a friend for life. You have a friend for life." So I remember asking Payman, like, "Why would you do this, dude? Why would you jump the counter and run at someone with a gun?" He said, "You have to understand, Patrick, we grew up in a war zone. I saw my friends, some of my siblings, some of my cousins, teenagers get blown up by bombs, get shot by the soldiers." He said, "We're not afraid of death, man." He said, "We come to America to make a better living, and nobody is going to take that from us. You have to respect the hell out of that." So this is the attitude that they had, right? And I got to tell you, man, those people were like fiercely loyal to me after that. I remember whenever I would have someone at the counter. So the way the entertainer was set up, the counter's up here. You had to walk up 3 steps to get to it. And then the whole pool hall, surrounds it, all the tables out there. And these guys always wanted to play back in the corner, right? So I'd always give them a good table. And one night, I remember these people at the counter were like yelling about their bill or something. Man, you never seen people so quick. They heard the yelling, and there was about 10 of these Afghanis there. They came running up there with pool sticks in hand. "Patrick, is there a problem? Do you need some help?" And they're looking at these guys, and you could just see they were ready to tangle, man. They didn't care. And, these guys were supposed to be some kind of little gangbangers themselves. There was about 5 of them. Given this much, they were smart enough to like look around. "We don't want no piece of this." So they're like, "No problem. We'll pay our bill." So they paid up and left. And David just looked at me and said, "You ever need help, here's my phone number. You call me." He said, "If you're ever having a problem down here, I'll call the whole family. We will be here in minutes." Just a really, really nice people, man. Like I said, I love people that are fiercely loyal to friends, and to them, friendship meant more than money, meant more than anything material. So it was a really cool experience for me to have, and also is a big portion, just one other portion of my life that I'll give you examples of on why there is no prejudice in me, man. People want to talk to me about Muslims. You better be prepared to have a long debate, a heated debate, if you're against them just for the fact that they're Muslim, because that's some bullshit. You want to talk to me because you're prejudiced against Asians or blacks or Latinos. You're barking up the wrong tree, man. This ain't the place for it. Just get the hell out of my channel. I don't even want it. I take it back. I don't even want to debate you. I don't even want to talk to you about it. This is a channel where we're going to talk openly and candidly about a lot of things. And there's no room for prejudice here. That includes gays and lesbians and everything else. There's no room for prejudice here. Anyway, it's my first stream. I hope I've been entertaining a little bit here. Got a lot more stories. I'll tell you this last one, and then we'll sign off. Guy I worked with was named Sammy. Sammy, we call him Samoan Sammy. He was up here from Samoa. And Sammy loved to gamble, and he was so good at it. We got so sick that gambling that they had, we had because back then all the video games, everything ran on quarters, right? So we had a dollar changer. We used to bet on, you put in $1 and, ting, ting, 4 quarters come out. We used to bet on if the quarters came out more tails or more heads. And I mean, it started at like $1 a bet, and then it would get up to like $5 a bet, and then $10 a bet. Sometimes we were betting $20, man, on what's it going to come out, more heads or more tails. It's the only game I would play with Sammy that I had an actual chance at winning. We used to do the odd even flips where 3 people would flip a quarter, and basically 3 people are flipping. If you were heads and someone else was heads, the tails would win. So it was like the odd, right? I used to always lose to him and his friend Tim on this. And one time after Sam and I got to be good friends, he told me that what he was doing was he had taught Tim how to flip a quarter so that never guaranteed, but so that about 70 to 80% of the time it was going to land opposite of what was showing. So if he saw Tim had heads and I was, all he had to do was make sure that he could flip his own to come up tails. And then either he's going to win or Tim's going to win. Doesn't matter what I flip. As long as they flip differently, one of them is going to be odd. That guy, he taught me a lot about gambling. So that's it for now, folks. My first stream. Hope it gets some action on here. Obviously, I don't want you to smash anything. I'm never going to say smash the like button, smash the subscribe. I don't want you to smash anything, man. Just be good to your computers or your phones. Just click on it. Click on the subscribe. Click on the like. Thanks, folks. We'll see you in the trenches.